Act 5, Scene 5 of Faust Part 2 by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, translated by Bayard Taylor. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Act 5, Scene 5 Midnight. 4 grey women enter.
My name, it is Want.
And mine, it is Guilt.
And mine, it is Care.
Necessity mine. The
The
portal is bolted, we cannot get in. The owner is rich, we've no business within.
I shrink to a shadow.
I shrink unto naught.
The pampered from me turn the face and the thought.
Ye sisters, ye neither can enter nor dare, but the keyhole is free to the entrance of Care.
Care disappears.
Ye grisly old sisters, be banished from here.
Beside thee, and bound to thee, I shall appear.
At your heels goes Necessity, blight in her breath. The clouds are in motion, and cover each star. Behind there, behind, from afar, he cometh, our brother. He comes, he is Death.
Faust in the palace.
4 saw I come, but those that went were 3. The sense of what they said was hid from me, but something like necessity I heard. Thereafter death, a gloomy, threatening word. It sounded hollow, spectrally subdued. Not yet have I my liberty made good. If I could banish magic's fell creations, and totally unlearn the incantations, stood I, O nature, man lone in thee, then were it worth one's while a man to be. Ere in the obscure I sought it, such was I, ere I had cursed the world so wickedly. Now fills the air so many a haunting shape, that no one knows how best he may escape. What though one day with rational brightness beams, the night entangles us in webs of dreams. From our young fields of life we come, elate. There croaks a bird. What croaks he? Evil fate. By superstition constantly ensnared, it grows to us, and warns, and is declared. Intimidated thus, we stand alone. The portal jars, yet entrance is there none?
Agitated.
Is anyone here?
Yes, must be my reply.
And thou, who art thou then?
Well, here am I.
Avaunt!
I am where I should be.
Faust, first angry, then composed, addressing himself.
Take care! And speak no word of sorcery.
Though no ear should choose to hear me, yet the shrinking heart must fear me. Though transformed to mortal eyes, grimmest power I exercise. On the land or ocean yonder, I, a dread companion, wander. Always found, yet never sought, praised or cursed, as I have wrought. Hast thou not Care already known?
I only through the world have flown. Each appetite I seized as by the hair. What not sufficed me, forth I let it fare, and what escaped me I let go. I've only craved, accomplished my delight, then wished a second time. Thus with might, stormed through my life. At first 'twas grand completely, but now it moves most wisely and discreetly. The sphere of earth is known enough to me. The view beyond is barred immutably. A fool, who there his blinking eyes directeth, and o'er his clouds of peers a place expecteth. Firm let him stand, and look around him well. This world means something to the capable. Why needs he through eternity to wend? He here acquires what he can apprehend. Thus let him wander down his earthly day. When spirits haunt, go quietly his way. In marching onwards, bliss and torment find, though every moment with unsated mind.
Whom I once possess shall never find the world worth his endeavor. endless gloom around him folding, rise nor set of sun beholding. Perfect in external senses, inwardly his darkness dense is, and he knows not how to measure true possession of his treasure. Luck and I'll become caprices, still he strives in all increases. Be it happiness or sorrow, he postpones it till the morrow. To the future only cleaveth, nothing, therefore, he achieveth.
Desist, so shalt thou not get hold of me. I have no mind to hear such drivel. Depart, thy gloomy litany might even befall the wisest man to evil.
Shall he go, or come? How guide him? Prompt decision is denied him. Midway on the trodden highway halting, he attempts a byway. Evermore astray, bemisted, everything beholding twisted. Burdening himself and others, take breath, he chokes and smothers. Though not choked, in life not sharing, not resigned and not despairing. Such incessant rolling, spinning, painful quitting, hard beginning, now constraint, now liberation, semi-sleep, poor recreation, firmly in his place ensnare him, and at last for hell prepare him.
Ill-omened spectres, by your treatment strays 1,000 times the human race to error. Ye even transform the dull indifferent days to vile confusion of entangling terror. 'Tis hard, I know, from demons to escape. The spirit's bond breaks not, however one tries it. And yet, O care, thy power, thy creeping shape, think not that I shall recognize it.
So feel it now. My curse thou'lt find, when forth from thee I've swiftly passed. Throughout their whole existence men are blind. So, Faust, be like them at last.
She breathes in his face. Faust, blinded.
The night seems deeper now to press around me, but in my inmost spirit all is light. I rest not till the finished work hath crowned me. The master's word alone bestows the might. Up from your couches, vassals, man by man, make grandly visible my daring plan. Seize now your tools, with spade and shovel press. The work traced out must be a swift success. Quick diligence, severest ordering, the most superb reward shall bring, and that the mighty work completed stands, one mind suffices for 1,000 hands.
End of Act 5, Scene 5. Act 5, Scene 6 of Faust Part 2 by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Translated by Bayard Taylor. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5, Scene 6. Great outer court of the palace. Torches. Mephistopheles in advance as overseer.
Come here, come here. Come on, ye lemures, loose-hung creatures, of sinew, ligament, and bone, your knitted semi-natures.
Lemures in chorus.
Without delay are we at hand, and half 'tis our impression that this concerns a spacious land whereof we'll have possession. The pointed stakes we bring them all, the measuring chain for distance, but we've forgotten why the call was made for our assistance.
Here is no need of your artistic zeal. Proceed as you may think it best. Your tallest lay full length from head to heel, and lift the turf around him, all the rest. As for our fathers made, prepare to excavate a lengthened square, from palace to the narrow house transferred, such is at last the issue most absurd.
Lemures digging with mocking gestures.
In youth when I did love, methought it was very sweet, when 'twas jolly and merry every way,
and I blithely moved my feet. But now old age with his stealing steps hath clawed me with his crutch. I stumbled over the door of a grave. Why leave they open such?
Faust comes forth from the palace, groping his way along the doorposts.
How I rejoice to hear the clattering spade! It is the crowd, for me in service moiling, till earth be reconciled to toiling, till the proud waves be stayed, and the sea girded with a rigid zone.
Mephistopheles aside.
And yet thou'rt labouring for us alone, with all thy dykes and bulwarks daring, since thou for Neptune art preparing, the ocean devil, carousal great. In every way shall ye be stranded, the elements with us are banded, and ruin is the certain fate.
Overseer!
Here!
However possible, collect a crowd of men with vigour, spur by indulgence, praise or rigour, reward, allure, conscript, compel, each day report to me, and correctly note how grows in length the undertaken mote.
Mephistopheles, half aloud.
When they to me the information gave, they spoke not of a moat, but of a grave.
Below the hills a marshy plain infects what I so long have been retrieving. This stagnant pool likewise to drain were now my latest and my best achieving. To many millions let me furnish soil, though not secure, yet free to active toil. Green, fertile fields, where men and herds go forth, at once with comfort, on the newest earth. And swiftly settled on the hill's firm base, created by the bold, industrious race. A land like paradise here, round about, up to the brink the tide may roar without. And though it gnaw to burst with force the limit, by common impulse all unite to hem it. Yes, to this thought I hold with firm persistence. The last result of wisdom stamps it true. He only earns his freedom and existence, who daily conquers them anew. Thus here, by dangers girt, shall glide away of childhood, manhood, age, the vigorous day, and such a throng I fain would see, stand on free soil among a people free. Then dared I hail the moment fleeing, Ah, still delay, thou art so fair! The traces cannot of mine earthly being in aeons perish, they are there. In proud forefeeling of such lofty bliss, I now enjoy the highest moment, this.
Faust sinks back, the lemures take him and lay him upon the ground.
No joy could sate him and suffice, no bliss. To catch but shifting shapes was his endeavour. The latest, poorest, emptiest moment, this. He wished to hold it fast for ever. Me he resisted in such vigorous wise. But time is lord, on earth the old man lies. The clock stands still.
Stands still. Silent as midnight now. The index falls.
It falls, and it is finished, here.
'Tis past.
Past? A stupid word. If past, then why? Past and pure naught, complete monotony. What good for us, this endlessly creating? What is created then annihilating? And now it's past. Why read a page so twisted? 'Tis just the same as if it ne'er existed. It goes in circles round as if it had, however. I'd rather choose, instead, the void for ever.
Sepulture. Lemur, solo.
Who then hath built the house so ill, with shovel and with spade?
Lemures, chorus.
For thee, dull guest, in hempen vest, it all too well was made.
Who then so ill hath decked the hall, no chairs nor table any? 'Twas borrowed to return at call, the creditors are so many.
The body lies, and if the spirit flee, I'll show it speedily my blood-signed title. But they've found such methods of requital, His souls the devils must oft abstracted see. One now offends the ancient way, upon the new we're not yet recommended. Once I alone secured my prey, but now by helpers need to be befriended. In all things we must feel the spite, transmitted custom, ancient right. Nothing indeed can longer one confide in, once with the last breath left the soul her house. I kept good watch, and like the nimblest mouse, whack was she caught, and fast my claws her hide in. Now she delays, and is not fain to quit the dismal place, the corpse's hideous mansion. The elements in hostile fierce expansion drive her at last disgracefully from it. And though I fret and worry till I'm weary, when, how, and where, remains the fatal query. Old Death is now no longer swift and strong, even the weather has been doubtful long. Oft I beheld with lust the rigid members, 'twas only sham, life kindled from its embers.
Fantastic, whirling gestures of conjuration.
Come on, strike up the double quick anew, with straight or crooked horns, ye gentlemen infernal, of the old devil grit and kernel, and bring at once the jaws of hell with you. Hell hath a multitude of jaws, in short, to use as suiteth place and dignity. But we, however, in this final sport, will henceforth less considerate be.
The fearful jaws of hell open on the left.
The side tusks yawn, then from the throat abysmal the raging fiery torrents flow, and in the vapours of the background dismal I see the city flame in endless glow. Up to the teeth the breakers lash the red arena, the damned, in hope of help, are swimming through, but caught and mangled by the fell hyena, their path of fiery torment they renew. In every nook new horrors flash and brighten, in narrow space so much of dread supreme. Well have you done, the sinners thus to frighten, but still they'll think it lie and cheat and dream.
To the stout devils with short straight horns.
Now, paunchy scamps, with cheeks so redly burning, ye glow, so fat with hellish sulphur fed, with necks thick set and stumpy, never turning. Watch here below, if phosphor light be shed. It is the soul, the winged Psyche is it. Pluck off the wings, 'tis but a hideous worm. First with my stamp and seal the thing I'll visit, then fling it to the whirly fiery storm. The lower parts be well inspected, ye bloats, perform ye duty well. If there the soul her seat selected, we cannot yet exactly tell. Oft in the navel doth she stay, look out for that, she thence may slip away.
To the lean devils with long crooked horns.
Ye lean buffoons, file leaders strange and giant, grasp in the air, yourselves no respite give. Strong in the arms, with talons sharp and pliant, that ye may seize the fluttering fugitive. In her old home discomforted she lies, and genius surely seeks at once to rise.
Glory from above on the right.
The heavenly host.
Envoys unhindered, heavenly kindred, follow us here. Sinners forgiving, dust to make living, lovingest features unto all creatures, showing us weighing, delaying career.
Discords I hear, a harsh, disgusting strumming, flung from above with the unwelcome day. 'Tis that emasculate and bungled humming which pious cant delights in every way. You know how we, atrociously contented, destruction for the human race have planned, but the most infamous that we've invented is just the thing their prayers demand. The fops, they come as hypocrites to fool us. Thus many have they snatched before our eyes, with our own weapons they would overrule us. They're also devils in disguise. To lose this case would be your lasting shame. On to the grave and fortify your claim.
Chorus of angels scattering roses.
Roses, ye glowing ones, balsam bestowing ones, fluttering, quivering, sweetness delivering, branching unblightedly, budding delightedly, bloom and be seen. Springtime declare him in purple and green, Paradise bear him, the sleeper serene.
Mephistopheles to the Satans.
Why do ye jerk and squat? Is this hell's rule? Stand to your ground and let them sprinkle Back to his place each gawky fool. They think, perhaps, with such a flowery creakle, As if 'twere snow the devil's heat to cool. Your breath shall make it melt and shrink and wrinkle. Now blow, ye blowers! 'Tis enough, enough, before your breath fades all the floating stuff. Not so much violence, shut jaws and noses, Forsooth, ye blow too strongly at the roses. The proper measure can you never learn, They sting not only, but they wither, burn. They hover on with flames of deadly lustre. Resist them ye, and close together cluster. Your force gives out. Oh, courage fails you so! The devil sent the strange, alluring glow.
Blossoms of gratitude, flames of beatitude, love they are bearing now, rapture preparing now, as the heart may. Truth in its nearness, ether in clearness, give the eternal hosts everywhere day.
Oh, curse and shame upon such dolts be sped! Each Satan stands upon his head. In somersaults the stout ones whirl and swerve, And into hell plunge bottom uppermost. Now may your bath be hot as you deserve, But I remain unflinching at my post.
Beating off the hovering roses.
Off, will-o'-the-wisps, bright as ye seem to be, When caught the vilest clinging filth are ye. Why flutter thus? Off with you, quick! Like pitch and sulphur on my neck they stick.
What not appertaineth to you, cease to share it. What inwardly paineth, refuse ye to bear it. If it press in with might, use we our stronger right. Love but the loving leads to the light.
My head, heart, liver, by the flames are rent, An over-devilish element, sharper than hell's red conflagration. Thence so enormous is your lamentation. Unfortunate enamoured, who, so spurned, Your heads towards the sweetheart's side have turned. Mine too! What twists my head in like position? With them am I not sworn to competition? The sight of them once made my hatred worse. Hath then an alien force transpierced my nature? I like to see them, youths of loveliest stature. What now restrains me that I dare not curse? And if I take their cozening bait so, who else henceforth the veriest fool will be? The stunning fellows whom I hate so. How very charming they appear to me! Tell me, sweet children, ere I miss you, are ye not of the race of Lucifer? You are so fair, forsooth, I'd like to kiss you. It seems to me as if ye welcome were. I feel as comfortable and as trustful, As though 1,000 times ere this we'd met. So surreptitiously cat-like lustful, With every glance ye're fairer, fairer yet. Oh, nearer come! Oh, grant me one sweet look!
We come! Why shrink? Canst not our presence brook? Now we approach, so if thou canst, remain.
The angels coming forward occupy the whole space. Mephistopheles, who is crowded into the proscenium.
Us, spirits damned, you brand with censure, Yet you are wizards by indenture. For man and woman, luring, you enchain. What chance the cursed adventure brings me? Is this love's chosen element? The fire o'er all my body stings me. My neck I hardly feel, so hotly sprint. Ye hover back and forth. Sink down and settle. Move your sweet limbs with more of worldly metal. The serious air befits you well, awhile. But I should like, just once, to see you smile. That were for me an everlasting rapture. I mean as lovers look, the heart to capture. About the mouth a simper there must be. Thee, tall one, as enticing I'll admit thee. The priestly mien does not at all befit thee. So look at me the least bit wantonly. You might be nakeder, and modest made so, Your shirt's long drapery is over-moral. They turn, and from the rear surveyed so, With their attraction there's no need to quarrel.
Love still revealing, flames become clearer. All cursed with error, truth be their healing. Glad self-retrieval, freedom from evil, in the all-folding breast, blessed to rest.
Mephistopheles collecting himself.
How is't with me? Like Job, the boils have cleft me from head to foot, so that myself I shun. Yet triumph also when my self-inspection's done, when self and tribe I have confided in. The noble devil parts at least are left me. This love attacks a rash upon the skin, burned out already are the scurvy fires, and one and all I damn you as the case requires.
Hallowed glories, round whom they brood, waste unto being of bliss with the good. Join ye the glorified, rise to your goal. Airs are all purified, breathe now the soul.
They rise, bearing away the immortal part of Faust. Mephistopheles, looking around him.
But how? At once I find them failing. This race of miners takes me by surprise. They with their booty heavenwards are sailing. Thence on this grave they cast their greedy eyes. My rare, great treasure they have peculated. The lofty soul to me hypothecated. They've rapt away from me in cunning wise. But unto whom shall I appeal for justice? Who would secure to me my well-earned right? Tricked so in one's old days a great disgust is. And I deserve it, this infernal spite. I've managed in a most disgraceful fashion. A great investment has been thrown away, by lowest lusts seduced, and senseless passion, the old case-hardened devil went astray. And if from all this childish silly stuff his shrewd experience could not wrest him, so is, forsooth, the folly quite enough, which in conclusion hath possessed him.
End of Act 5, Scene 6. Act 5, Scene 7 of Faust, Part 2 by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Translated by Bayard Taylor. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5, Scene 7 Mountain Gorges, Forest, Rock, Desert. Holy anchorites divided in ascending plains posted among the ravines.
Forests are waving grand. Rocks, they are huge at hand. Clutching, the roots expand. Thickly the tree trunks stand. Foaming comes wave on wave. Shelter hath deepest cave. Lions are prowling dumb, friendly where'er we come. Honoring the sacred place, refuge of love and grace.
Pater ecstaticus, hovering up and down.
Endless ecstatic fire, glow of the pure desire, pain of the pining breast, rapture of God possessed. Arrows transpierce ye me, lances coerce ye me, bludgeons so batter me, lightnings so shatter me, that all of mortality's vain unrealities die, and the star above beam but eternal love.
Pater profundus, lower region.
As at my feet abysses cloven rest on abysses deep below, as thousands severed streams are woven to foamy floods that plunging go, as up by self-implosion driven, the tree its weight sustains in air, to love, almighty love, 'tis given all things to form and all to bear. Around me sounds a savage roaring, as rocks and forests heaved and swayed, yet plunges, bounteous in its pouring, the wealth of waters down the glade. Appointed then the veils to brighten, the bolt that flaming struck and burst the atmosphere to cleanse and lighten, which pestilence in its bosom nursed. Love's herald both, the powers proclaiming, which I, creature, us enfold, may then within my bosom flaming inspire the mind, confused and cold, which frets itself through blunted senses, as by the sharpest fetter smart. O God, soothe thou my thoughts bewildered, enlighten thou my needy heart.
Pater Seraphicus, Middle Region.
What a cloud of morning hovers o'er the pine trees' tossing hair! Can I guess what life it covers? They are spirits young and fair.
Chorus of Blessed Boys.
Tell us, Father, where we wander. Tell us, kind one, who are we? Happy are we, for so tender unto all it is to be.
Boys brought forth in midnights haunted, half unsealed the sense and brain, for the parents lost when granted, for the angels' sweetest gain. That a loving heart is nigh you, you can feel, then come to me. But of earthly ways that try you, blessed ones, not a trace have ye. Enter in mine eyes, enjoy them, organs for the earthly sphere. As your own ye may employ them, look upon the landscape here.
He takes them into himself.
Those are trees, there rocks defend us. Here a stream that leaps below, and with plunges wild tremendous, shorteneth its journey so.
Blessed Boys from within him.
To a vision grand we waken, but the scenes too gloomy show. We with fear and dread are shaken. Kindest Father, let us go.
Upward rise to higher borders, ever grow insensibly, as by pure eternal orders, God's high presence strengthens ye. Such the Spirit's sustentation, with the freest ether blending, love's eternal revelation, to beatitude ascending.
Chorus of Blessed Boys circling around the highest summit.
Hands now and ring ye, joyously reeling, soar ye and sing ye with holiest feeling. The Teacher before ye, trust and be bold. Whom ye adore, ye him shall behold.
Angels soaring in the higher atmosphere, bearing the immortal part of Faust.
The noble spirit now is free
and saved from evil scheming. Whoe'er aspires unweariedly is not beyond redeeming. And if he feels the grace of love that from on high is given, the blessed hosts that wait above shall welcome him to heaven.
The younger angels.
They, the roses freely spended, by the penitent, the glorious, help to make the fight victorious, and the lofty work is ended. We this precious soul have won us, evil ones be forced to shun us, devils fled us when we hit them. Instead of pangs of hell that beat them, love pangs felt they, sharper, vaster. Even he, old Satan, master, pierced with keenest pain, retreated. Now rejoice, the work's completed.
The more perfect angels.
Earth's residue to bear hath sorely pressed us. It were not pure and fair, though it were of asbestos. When every element the mind's high forces have seized, subdued, and blent, no angel divorces twin natures a single grown that inly made them. Eternal love alone can separate them.
The younger angels.
Mist-like on heights above, we now are seeing nearer and nearer move spiritual being. The clouds are growing clear, and moving throngs appear of blessed boys, free from earthly gloom, encircling poise, who taste the cheer of the new springtime bloom of the upper sphere. Let them inaugurate him to the perfect state, now as their pair.
Blessed Boys.
Gladly receive we now him as a chrysalis, therefore achieve we now pledge of our bliss. The earth flakes dissipate that cling around him. See, he is fair and great, divine life hath crowned him.
Dr. Marianus, in the highest, purest cell.
Free is the view at last, the spirit lifted. There women, floating past, are upward drifted. the glorious one therein, with star-crown tender, the pure, the heavenly queen. I know her splendour.
Enraptured.
Highest mistress of the world, let me in the azure tent of heaven in light unfurled hear thy mystery measure. Justify sweet thoughts that move breast of man to meet thee, and with holy bliss of love bear him up to greet thee. With unconquered courage we do thy bidding highest, but at once shall gentle be when thou pacifiest. Virgin, pure in brightest sheen, mother sweet, supernal, unto us elected queen, peer of gods eternal. Light clouds are circling around her splendour, penitent woman of nature's tender, her knees embracing, ether aspiring, mercy requiring. Thou, in immaculate ray, mercy not leavest, and the lightly led astray, who trust thee receivest. In their weakness fallen at length, hard it is to save them, who can crush by native strength vices that enslave them. Whose the foot that may not slip on the surface slanting, whom befall not iron lip, breath and voice enchanting?
The Mater Gloriosa soars into the space. Chorus of Women Penitents.
To heights thou art speeding, of endless Eden. Receive our pleading, transcendent maiden, with mercy laden.
Magna Peccatrix. St. Luke 7:36.
By the love before him kneeling, him thy son a godlike vision, by the tears like balsam stealing, spite of Pharisees' derision, by the box whose ointment precious shed its spice and odors cheery, by the locks whose softest meshes dry the holy feet and vary.
Mulier Samaritana. St. John 4.
By that well the ancient station, whither Abram's flocks were driven, by the jar whose restoration to the Saviour's lips was given, by the fountain pure and vernal, thence its present bounty spending, overflowing bright eternal, watering the world's unending.
Maria Aegyptiaca. Acta Sanctorum.
By the place where the immortal body of the Lord hath lain, by the arm which from the portal, warning, thrust me back again, by the 40 years' repentance in the lonely desert land, by the blissful farewell sentence which I wrote upon the sand. Thou thy presence not deniest unto sinful women ever, liftest them to win the highest gain of penitent endeavor. So from this good soul withdraw not, who but once forgot transgressing, who her loving error saw not, pardon adequate and blessing.
Una Penitentium. Formerly named Margaret, stealing closer.
Incline, maiden, with mercy laden, in light unfading thy gracious countenance upon my bliss. My loved, my lover, his trials over, in yonder world returns to me in this.
Blessed boys approaching in hovering circles.
With mighty limbs he towers, already above us. He, for this love of ours, will richlier love us. Early we were removed, ere life could reach us. Yet he hath learned and proved, and he will teach us.
The Penitent, formerly named Margaret.
The spirit choir around him seeing, new to himself, he scarce divines his heritage of newborn being, when like the holy host he shines. Behold, how he each band hath cloven, the earthly life had round him thrown, and through his garb, of ether woven, the early force of youth is shown. Vouchsafe to me that I instruct him, still dazzles him the day's new glare.
Mater Gloriosa.
Rise thou to higher spheres, conduct him, who feeling thee shall follow there.
Dr. Marianus, prostrate, adoring.
Penitents, look up, elate, where she beams salvation, gratefully to blessed fate grow in recreation. Be our souls, as they have been, dedicate to thee, Virgin Holy, Mother, Queen, Goddess, gracious be.
Chorus Mysticus.
All things transitory, but as symbols are sent. Earth's insufficiency here grows to event. The indescribable, here it is done. The woman soul leadeth us upward and on.
End of Act 5, Scene 7. End of Faust, Part 2, by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, translated by Bayard Taylor.